All right, let's dive into a real classic of television that totally pushed the boundaries of science fiction. We're talking about an episode of The Outer Limits called The Sixth Finger. Now, this is a story that kicks off in a pretty bleak mining town, but believe me, it ends up asking one of the biggest questions you could possibly imagine. What is the ultimate destiny of humanity? Right from the get-go, the show just hits you with this unique and unsettling vibe. That opening line you just saw from the famous control voice, well, it wasn't just an introduction. It was basically a declaration. It was telling audiences, hey, get ready, because you're about to see something totally different. It was the perfect way to prime everyone for the wild ride to come. So right away, the control voice just lays it out there, the big question. See, this isn't your typical story about aliens or spaceships. Nah, this one's about us. It's asking us to think about our own future. And not just in a few years or decades, but across millennia. So what's it going to be? Is there a future full of wonder, or is it full of terror? Well, this episode offers up a pretty chilling answer to that. Okay, let's set the scene. Picture this grim, gritty Welsh mining town. It's a place just covered in coal dust where dreams kind of go to die. And this is where we meet our two main guys. You've got this brilliant but completely haunted geneticist who's working all alone, and then there's a local miner who feels totally trapped by what he calls the dirt and stupidity of his own life. You just know these two desperate people are on a collision course. And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got this incredible parallel going on. On one side, there's William Griffith. He's a miner, but he knows he's way smarter than everyone around him, and he just despises his life down in the mine. Then you have Professor Mathers. This guy is carrying some serious guilt. He worked on an atomic bomb. So now he's desperately trying to make things right by, get this, fast-forwarding human evolution past all our self-destructive habits. So yeah, both of them want to change the world, but for completely different reasons. Wow, that quote right there, it tells you everything you need to know about where Gwilym's head is at. This isn't just, ugh, I hate my job. This is a deep, burning resentment. He doesn't just want to pack his bags and leave. He literally wants to see the whole place obliterated. That one line tells you all you need to know about the anger that's just simmering under the surface, an anger that's about to have some terrifying consequences. So when Professor Mathers says he needs a human volunteer for his evolution experiment, Gwilym basically jumps at the chance. He couldn't care less about the risks. Like he says, he'd rather face literally any danger than go back to crawling like an animal in the dark in that coal mine. Let's be clear, this is not some noble sacrifice for science. It is a desperate escape plan, pure and simple. And the experiment itself? Whoa, it is audacious. I mean, Professor Mathers isn't just studying evolution. He's claiming he can put the pedal to the metal on the whole process. His plan is to send Gwilym on a biological trip that should take millions of years, and he's going to do it in a single afternoon. So how's he going to do it? Well, the professor's theory is that he can use these special energy wavelengths to stimulate the genes in every single one of Gwilym's cells. The goal is to make the superior genes take over from the backward ones, basically forcing evolution to happen on demand. It's a fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty frightening idea. And the scale of this is it's staggering. Every single click on the professor's control dial represents 10,000 years of evolution, and he's turning that dial for minutes at a time. The sheer speed of this change is almost impossible to wrap your head around, and it's really the engine that drives this whole story. You can just hear it in the professor's words, right? It's this wild mix of incredible hope and, yeah, a whole lot of hubris. He really believes he's creating the man of the future, a person who can rise above all our petty human problems and bring about peace. But he's so focused on that potential prize that he seems totally blind to the enormous risk. At first, it actually seems like the crazy experiment is a huge success. Gwilym starts to change, both mentally and physically, and he starts developing these abilities that are nothing short of miraculous. He's becoming something way more than human. This is that wonder part of the story, where you're thinking, wow, anything is possible. And the changes happen really fast. All of a sudden, boom, he can read minds, he can absorb all that guilt the professor is feeling, he's tearing through books, mastering all human knowledge, he doesn't even need to sleep anymore. And then you get the physical changes. His forehead gets bigger for his growing brain, his vision widens, and of course, the most famous part, he starts to grow a sixth finger, a clear sign that he is evolving. Gwilym himself confirms just how massive this leap is. The process has even started to generate its own power, mutating all by itself. He is now essentially a million years ahead of every other person on Earth. And that creates this massive intellectual and emotional gap that might just be impossible to bridge. And this is where the story takes a hard turn from wonder straight into horror. As Gwilym's intelligence just explodes, his connection to human emotions, to morality, it starts to fray and then it just completely shatters. The man from the future starts to see the people of the present as something lesser. The turning point is swift and it is brutal. When the professor's housekeeper sees Wilm's changed form, she reacts with fear. Wilm senses that she's about to scream for help, and to stop her, he just stops her heart, with his mind. And just like that, we see his incredible power has turned lethal. His justification for doing it is absolutely chilling. The professor is horrified, of course, but Gwilym shows zero remorse. From his perspective, a million years in the future, the housekeeper was just a primitive creature. Her life was insignificant. All that superior intelligence didn't make him more compassionate, it completely erased his empathy. So this really forces us to ask that central question, doesn't it? Did Professor Mathers create a savior? A being smart enough to end war and suffering? Or did he just unleash a monster? Someone so advanced that he sees the rest of us as insects to be crushed without a second thought. So in the climax, you've got the fearful townspeople gathering with torches, ready to destroy the monster in the house. And Gwilym, fueled by all that old contempt he has for them, decides he's finally going to make his wish come true and just obliterate them all. But one person stands in his way. It all comes down to Kathy, a young woman who was actually kind to him before his transformation. As Gwilym gets ready to unleash all his power, she just stands in front of him, totally unafraid. And in that one moment, her simple human compassion makes his huge cosmic hatred feel small and petty. And that triggers another change in him. In an instant, he evolves right past his rage. He transcends emotions like hatred and the need for power. They just become irrelevant to him. His evolution takes one final, massive leap, and now he's got a new goal: to become what he believes humanity is truly destined to be. And this quote shows you his new vision. He now sees the final destiny of humanity: to completely shed the physical body and become a vortex of pure intelligence in space. He believes this is the ultimate goal: to become what we first imagine as angels, just pure thought, totally free from the limits of a physical body. This all leads to a final, crucial choice. Gwilym asks Kathy to help him push the machine's controls forward, all the way into infinity so he can complete his journey. But Kathy, driven by a very human love and not wanting to lose him, she just can't do it. At the very last second, she shoves the lever the other way, backward. And the result is absolutely tragic. Her act of love doesn't bring back the Gwilym she knew. It sends him hurtling backward through evolutionary time, way past his starting point, and reverts him into that gentle, intelligent ape from the professor's very first experiments. In trying so hard to hold on to him, she lost him forever. The story ends with the professor cradling the devolved Gwilym, and he asks this final, profound question. He wonders if Gwilym, for that one brief moment, had actually achieved the true goal: to become so intelligent that all those basic emotions like hatred and revenge just cease to matter. The episode gives us no easy answers. It just leaves us to wonder whether humanity's greatest triumph might look like something we can't even recognize as human anymore.